I'm Mihaela Gheorghi and I'm the owner of flat 502 Samuel Garside House. I bought my property 6 years ago, brand new from Bellway, where obviously I thought Bellway is going to be the freeholder, and then I found out 2 years later that actually it's been sold to Adriatic, and from there Adriatic sold it to Adriatic Plan 4. And it's just been a confusion down the line where we haven't been informed, or we had no idea why. We haven't been given any reasons.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start with that. So you say that it's been passed from one to the other.
Yes.
So in terms of who is responsible for resident safety, for issues, is that clear at all?
Not really. It's not clear because we know the landlord is Adriatic, but Adriatic appointed Homeground to deal with this problem, and then Homeground engaged RMG to be the maintenance company. So, and then we have BRL on top. So it's a bit of confusion. We don't know exactly who is responsible for what.
Before, so the fire 6 months ago now.
Yeah.
Prior to that, were there any concerns for safety from the residents regarding the fire?
Yes.
Did that take the form of kind of official complaints or inquiries?
Yes, we've sent. I know for sure that Pete sent some official emails to Bellway Special after Grenfell. Pete asked, what is the nature of the timber we have in our block, and I also know that in May it's been sent another email where again we got an assurance from Bellway that it's all safe and sound, which obviously we've all seen that in 3 minutes it's all gone up.
And I mean, I guess if they say it's all fine, what can you?
Well, you just have to trust them, right? You just the company who build, you assume that they know the regulation, you assume that they have everything in place, so you just have to take their word. They're the specialist one.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about constructions, and I'm not a specialist. If someone says that, I have to take their word for. And it wasn't the timber they actually said, the category they said, it was just literally barbecue wood. And we all seen the results.
What was your experience of the day itself?
It's a very traumatic event, the most traumatic event I actually experienced in my life so far. I was at home. Sorry.
No, if it's anything you don't want to.
No, it's fine. It's just obviously that thing comes back. Yes,
yeah,
because I was in the property, and I just heard a knock to my door, like a banging, and I just went and knocked on the door. It was around 3:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday, and my neighbor was just holding her baby and just was shouting, "Just get out, there's a fire." I just couldn't actually understand what's going on because I couldn't see any fire and I couldn't see any smoke either. It was just her desperate face. So I just took my shoes and just ran. I grabbed her daughter because she has a baby and her 3-year-old daughter, and I just started running on the stairs, and everyone was just coming out from everywhere shouting, and everyone was a completely chaos, saying just get out, there's a fire. And the moment I walked out, I was holding the girl on my shoulder, and when I just looked on my left side, I just saw the whole building on fire, and my shoulder was just literally burning from the heat. I just couldn't believe that that's actually real. And from that moment until today, actually 6 months and 1 day since the fire, my life completely changed into a nightmare, because it's not enough dealing with that moment, but then you have to deal with aftermath and dealing with all these companies, which are only 9 of them involved. and you have the insurance, you've got the landlord, you've got the maintenance company, you've got surveyors, and the first 4 months we lived outside. We lived in a temporary accommodation. For 2 months I was in a hotel, and then they moved me to a service department, and the service department I have to move like every week because they were doing the extension of the booking in the last minute and the apartment was getting booked, so I had to move out. It was very disturbing, you know, that you just can't do anything and you can't get your life back because you have to move, and at the same time you have to deal with the insurance company, you have to deal with the surveyors, where their reports, they're not accurate and they're not presenting the current situation of the apartment because I'm assuming they don't want to take any responsibilities. So that all these issues since day one, they're still affecting my life, and it's like a second job, which a full-time job, which you have to have every single day to chase someone and just make sure that, you know, someone is going to respond to your emails. I have issues with my flat. Every week I discover more cracks since the fire. So my flat wasn't affected by the fire or smoke, but because I'm on the corner side, since I moved back home on the 26th of October, I've realized that more cracks are appearing every week. So now I'm dealing with this, and again, they're not taking any responsibility, they're not answering to any emails. We have to live in a building site because half of the buildings is under construction. I've been working from home and I've been at home off sick. It's very disturbing. You have the builders leaving all the doors open to carry materials on the residence side, which they should supposed to use the scaffolding stairs they have. They're not respecting that. I live on the top floor. We have a door which goes on the roof. They're leaving that door open, and because they remove the shelter, then it's very easy for someone to jump from the top of the building straight into my balcony. So one day last week I was on the balcony and I actually saw someone on the roof, and when he saw me he ran. He literally left, and I just went straight away and made a complaint that who was that person? Is this someone who was planning to break into my house? So there are all these things every single day. Every single day is a challenge, and every single day is you just have to fight for your life in your own house, basically. It's just been a nightmare. And who is responsible? We don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I was going to ask. There is no clear...
Well, it's not clear because you have RMG who took over in November, and they did the fire risk assessment in January, where they haven't disclosed. They detected the risk and they haven't disclosed it to us. But my question is, what happened until November? We had Pinnacle for 5 years. In all these 5 years, have they not picked up on this? So our life was at risk for all these 5 years, and the only thing they did just sent the invoice, no answering to any queries of the service charge we have. And at not any point in 5 years they actually said anything to us that there are any issues with the building. So who is responsible? I think it's my personal opinion, probably everyone. Everyone has his own fault from all these companies. I blame BRL as well. I blame Pinnacle. I blame RMG. I blame the landlord, which I'm pretty sure that he actually was informed by RMG about the risks and he wanted to cut costs and evacuate the building. I've got vaguely impression that this is what it was there. So I think this is a fault, but mainly I blame the government because the government hasn't got regulations in place. They should tighten up the regulations. After Grenfell, they only changed few things for the buildings which are over 18 meters. What happened for the other buildings? The government has to put regulations in place to make sure that people are safe in their own houses. We're not paying a lot of money just to go there and die. Well, I bought this property knowing that, you know, it has been approved, it has been signed off by the council. I thought it was signed off by the fire brigade. Apparently these rules, it doesn't exist anymore. Someone just have to build and they bring an independent assessor and they will sign off the building, which that person can't be that independent. So the council doesn't have any responsibility in signing off the building. It's all so shoddy, and it's just, I think the government has the main responsibility, allowing all these companies to do whatever they want. Probably the needs of the house and they just want to build quick, and they just want to make everything as soon as possible, and they don't care about the safety of the people.
Cool. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
It's just really hard for all of us, and there's been an experience which all of us, we want to make a difference in the future. We want to know that something is going to be done in the future, so people living in the flats, they're safe, because we've been lucky and all of us, we got out from there safe. And okay, people, we lost, you know, they lost houses, but actually there were not casualties. But look at Grenfell, that these people, 72 people, didn't have the same chance. So we want to know that things that will be different in the future, and everyone they're actually safe. And we need some answers for Samuel Garside House as well. Who is responsible and who is going to pay for this? And how they're going to change everything to make our building safe, because at the moment it's a mess. I can't call that building safe. Yeah, thank you.